Welcome back. Today, we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving into the world of copper wheat pennies, coins that could potentially make you rich. First up, the 1939 Abraham wheat. 1 cent is often overlooked by many collectors, but when paired with unique conditions like damage and a mint mark, it can demand impressive prices in today's auction market. In the early 20th century, the U.S. economy was evolving in significant ways. The 1930s, particularly during the Great Depression, saw a major shift in the minting of coins. In 1939, the United States experienced a period of economic recovery, and many of the coins minted that year, including the Lincoln wheat penny, were intended to symbolize the rebirth of the nation's economy. The mintage of the 1939 penny is estimated at around 684 million, making it one of the more common years in terms of circulation. Yet there are a number of variations that make this penny worth significantly more than its face value. However, the coin in question here is not just any regular 1939 penny. It is a damaged date version with a D mint mark in damage condition. It's the unique imperfections of this coin that make it stand out among the masses of other 1939 wheat pennies. The design of the 1939 wheat penny is familiar to many collectors, as it retains the classic look of the Lincoln wheat cent series that ran from 1909 to 1958. On the obverse, you'll find a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln is depicted facing left with the words "Liberty" and the year of minting, 1939, to his right. Above the portrait, the inscription, "In God We Trust," can be seen. For the coin in question here, it has a D mint mark, which indicates it was minted in Denver. The mint mark is located on the reverse of the coin, next to the E in United States. The main difference with this coin is its damage. Coins that are damaged, whether through environmental exposure, mishandling, or being struck by a foreign object, can significantly affect their value. For example, the 1939 penny's damage date means that the year on the coin has been partially worn away, making it harder to identify. This kind of imperfection can decrease the coin's desirability for some collectors who prefer pristine coins. However, there's a growing segment of coin collectors who specifically seek out damaged coins because they hold their own unique historical significance. These damaged coins can tell stories about their journey through circulation, as no two damaged coins are the same. The primary reason that this coin is highly valuable in today's auction market is due to its unique condition. When combined with the D mint mark, which is known to have been produced in limited quantities compared to coins minted in Philadelphia or San Francisco, this damaged 1939 wheat penny offers something rare. Additionally, the damaged date creates an error that attracts collectors interested in irregularities in coin production. Collectors who specialize in error coins will find this example particularly enticing. It's important to note that error coins can hold significant value because they are anomalies in the minting process. The irregularities often make them stand out from more traditional coins, which increases demand and, consequently, their market value. In today's auction market, this coin could fetch a higher price than other 1939 pennies in better condition simply because of the damage date and mint mark. It's the sort of coin that piques the curiosity of collectors who want to diversify their collection with more unusual and rare specimens. When assessing the market value of this specific coin, we must consider the rarity of the damage and the mint mark, as well as the current state of the coin market. Coins in damaged condition typically don't fetch as high a price as pristine specimens, but in the world of rare coins, the unique characteristics of a damaged coin often lead to an increase in value. In auction settings, this 1939 Abraham wheat, 1 cent with a D mint mark in damage condition could range anywhere from $89,000 depending on factors like how well the coin is preserved despite the damage and how aggressively it is marketed to potential buyers. To some collectors, a coin in damage condition is a conversational piece, something that sets it apart from the standard examples in their collection. Auction prices for coins like this have shown an increasing trend in recent years as interest in the imperfection and the story it tells grows. Next up, now let's take a closer look at the 1935 Abraham wheat 1 cent, which is another highly prized penny in today's market. This coin, although minted years earlier than the 1939 penny, carries its own unique traits that make it valuable to collectors, especially in its damaged state with a D mint mark. The 1930s were a pivotal time in American history, as the country was still struggling with the effects of the Great Depression. The 1935 penny is a product of that era, and it carries a historical weight that goes beyond its simple design. With over 200,001,935 pennies minted, it is not exactly rare in terms of its mintage numbers. However, this particular coin is far from ordinary. This 1935 Abraham Wheat 1 cent is notable for its lamination damage, a condition that occurs during the minting process. Lamination errors happen when the metal layers of the coin do not properly bond together, creating a separation or peeling effect. When combined with the D mint mark, this coin becomes even more fascinating because the mint mark is indicative of its origin from the Denver Mint, where quality control was more stringent than at other mints. Like the 1939 penny, the 1935 wheat penny shares the same iconic design. On the obverse, President Abraham Lincoln is featured in a classic profile, facing left. The year 1935 is stamped just below his bust, and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" are inscribed on either side of Lincoln's portrait. The obverse design captures Lincoln's significance in American history, as this is the centennial year of his birth. For this specific coin, the D mint mark is located on the reverse side, just above the word cent. The mint mark on this coin indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint, a location known for producing a significant portion of U.S. coinage during the 1930s. As mentioned, the coin features lamination damage, which is considered an error in the minting process. Lamination errors can vary in severity, and the condition of this coin, dirty as it may be, makes it unique. When considering collector interest, there are several key aspects that come into play. Lamination errors are sought after by collectors of error coins, who are often looking for specimens that display manufacturing defects. These errors are not intentional, which makes them all the more intriguing to collectors who enjoy the hunt for rare, irregular coins. Collectors of coins like this view the 1935 Abraham Wheat penny with lamination damage as a piece of history that adds a level of intrigue and authenticity to any collection. Furthermore, the D mint mark adds an extra layer of desirability to this coin. Denver minted coins are often viewed with particular interest by collectors, especially when they feature rare errors or unique conditions. The presence of the mint mark only enhances the coin's appeal. As for the current market value, the 1935 Abraham Wheat 1 cent with lamination damage is a coin that holds substantial value in today's auction market. In its dirty condition, it might fetch a price of around $56,000, depending on the severity of the lamination error and the amount of interest from buyers. Interestingly, lamination damage can often increase the value of a coin as much as, or even more than, pristine examples, particularly when coupled with the coin's historical context and minting information. Prices for these types of coins have remained relatively strong in auction markets, especially as the demand for unique error coins continues to rise. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny. The Lincoln Wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics, featuring the beloved image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the wheat ears design on the reverse. Produced between 1909 and 1958, these coins are an essential part of every coin collector's portfolio. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny, particularly with a D mint mark, holds a special place in the market, especially when it is in a rare condition, even one as unique as the full dirty condition we're discussing here. The 1952 penny was part of the final decades of the Wheat penny series, which was known for its design by artist Victor David Brenner. The Wheat penny's distinctive reverse design, with two ears of wheat surrounding the phrase "E pluribus unum," was beloved by collectors and has stood the test of time. While the 1952 coin itself isn't as rare as some of the earlier years, the condition in which it exists today can have a huge impact on its market value. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny has the familiar design elements seen throughout the entire series. On the obverse, we see President Abraham Lincoln's portrait, created by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's face is designed in profile, with the date 1952 and the word liberty to the left of his bust. The motto, "In God We Trust," is prominently displayed above Lincoln's head. The reverse of the coin features two stalks of wheat arranged symmetrically on either side of the coin's denomination, 1 cent. The words United States of America curve along the top of the coin, and the motto E pluribus unum appears near the bottom. The D mint mark, which stands for the Denver Mint, is located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. While not particularly rare in terms of its mintage, the presence of the mint mark does indicate the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is important for collectors seeking a complete collection of Lincoln pennies with various mint marks. Now, you may be wondering, how does a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark in full dirty condition fare in today's market? While most people would consider a dirty coin to be in poor condition, it's important to remember that some collectors are particularly interested in coins that tell a story. Coins with dirt, stains, or oxidation marks can sometimes sell for significantly higher prices if they are perceived to have certain qualities, such as being rare or carrying a historical connection. In today's auction market, a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny in full dirty condition can sell for anywhere between $39,000 depending on the specifics of the coin. If the coin has significant wear, rust, or dirt that makes it less desirable for the traditional collector, it may fetch a price closer to the lower end of the spectrum. However, for collectors who specialize in problem coins or seek unique pieces, these coins can have considerable interest, especially if they have been well documented or are part of a larger collection. The dirt on this particular coin may detract from its aesthetic appeal, but could make it more attractive to those searching for coins with a unique and storied appearance. For example, if the coin has been kept in a particularly unique environment, such as being unearthed from a historical site or stored in a way that caused certain specific kinds of corrosion, it could attract collectors of damaged or non-graded coins. That said, in most cases, collectors still prefer coins to be in clean, well-maintained condition for investment purposes, so the market value for a coin in this state is a bit lower than a pristine example. While the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny is not known for major mint errors, certain unique features can drive up the value of individual coins. A penny that is heavily tarnished or stained due to exposure to elements over time can be considered unique, but it is crucial to assess whether there are any errors present, such as a double die or misstrike. These types of errors are what really send the prices for certain coins soaring. For example, if a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny had an unusual misstrike or a doubled mint mark, the value could potentially skyrocket. However, in the case of a dirty coin without such errors, the collector interest will be more focused on its condition, rarity, and any potential historical backstory that could accompany the piece. The collector interest in dirty or damaged coins tends to be niche but significant. Many collectors are drawn to coins that tell a story, whether that's through its original condition or the path it has traveled over the years. Coins like this one, which show the marks of history, could appeal to collectors who prefer the rugged or aged look. For the right buyer, this 1952 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark could become a valuable addition to their collection, especially if they are focused on coins with unusual conditions or rare characteristics. Next up, the year 1944 was a time of great significance in the United States, as the country was deeply involved in World War II. As a result, many coins minted in the 1940s were struck during wartime production with varying levels of detail. The 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is one such example of wartime production that has continued to capture the interest of collectors. Interestingly, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the last years for the traditional copper-based design before the U.S. Mint shifted to using steel pennies in 1943 and later introduced the memorial design in 1959. In the years following, the U.S. Mint went through several variations of penny designs, but the wheat penny remained a classic for collectors. The absence of the mint mark on the 1944 penny is another significant feature, as it indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This lack of mint mark, in combination with the coin's design features, makes it a highly sought-after piece for collectors aiming to complete a full set of Lincoln wheat pennies. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny features the same basic design as the rest of the Wheat Penny series, including the iconic portrait of President Lincoln. However, in this case, the coin in question has a damaged date, which presents an interesting case for collectors. The damaged date is most likely the result of mishandling or contact with harsh environments over time, leading to wear and corrosion that obscured or altered the date. While not an error in the traditional sense, this damage adds to the coin's uniqueness, making it more desirable for those collectors who specialize in rare or distressed coins. A 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with a damaged date and no mint mark, may not hold the same market value as an uncirculated or pristine example. However, due to its historical significance, the damage could be a unique feature that draws in certain buyers. Coins like this are often sold at auction for prices ranging from $55,200, with the exact price determined by the severity of the damage, the uniqueness of the piece, and the overall collector interest in damaged coins. In certain niche markets, where collectors are specifically looking for damaged or unusual coins, this 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny could command higher values, especially if there is a significant historical backstory tied to its damage. Although this coin does not feature any minting errors in the traditional sense, the damaged date and the rusty color on the coin do make it an interesting piece. The rusty condition could indicate that the coin was exposed to moisture or harsh conditions, making it a unique piece in any collection. Collectors who specialize in damage-based or distressed coins often find themselves drawn to pieces like the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a damaged date. These collectors are interested in coins that stand out from the typical examples and often focus on rare characteristics, whether that's damage, misprints, or wear caused by unusual circumstances. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat. 1 cent is an extraordinary coin in itself, but when it comes to a D-mint mark coin with full rust conditions, it becomes something truly exceptional. This specific example, hidden under a black, rusty layer, holds a unique position in the world of numismatics, and its value has risen sharply in recent years. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at the Denver Mint and is part of a series of coins featuring Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln Wheat cent was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it ran through 1958. The 1948 coin specifically was minted in large quantities due to the ongoing post-war economy that required more circulation of coins for transactions. Despite its wide circulation, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a typical example of post-war currency. The year 1948 was an era of transformation for the U.S. and its currency, as the country was emerging from the effects of World War II, and the economy was gradually transitioning into the booming post-war years. During this period, the Denver Mint produced 187 million pennies, which, while abundant compared to some other years, have since become sought after due to their unique features and aging. The design of the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny was created by Victor David Brenner, who is also responsible for the original Lincoln cent design. The obverse features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, with the words, "In God we trust," above and "Liberty" on the right. Below Lincoln's portrait is the year of mintage, 1948. The most important factor that sets this coin apart in terms of value, though, is the condition it has endured over time. The condition of this coin is truly fascinating. Coins that have been exposed to the elements for extended periods, like the rusted black layer on this coin, are often seen as undesirable by most collectors, as they can significantly degrade the coin's appearance. However, in certain cases, coins that show signs of such damage can acquire a unique aesthetic, which can intrigue certain collectors, especially those who specialize in error coins or coins with unusual characteristics. This particular 1948 Lincoln penny, with a full rusted layer, has caught the eye of collectors because of the rarity of rust accumulation, combined with the D mint mark. While a coin in this condition wouldn't typically command top dollar, the historical curiosity of rusted coins has led to a niche market where certain rusted coins have reached impressive prices at auction. A rusted penny in good auction conditions could fetch anywhere from $7,200 depending on the amount of damage. But an error coin featuring rare markings or rust patterns could push this value even higher. Rusty or corroded coins like this, 1948 Lincoln penny, often appeal to collectors who are looking for rare, out-of-the-ordinary items to add to their collection. These coins may not be in pristine condition, but their unique features, including the rust, make them fascinating conversation pieces and rare finds. This coin's auction value also depends on the degree of preservation of the details despite the rust. If the coin's details, such as Lincoln's profile, the wheat stalks, and the date, remain legible, it can increase its value. The mint mark, too, plays a significant role, with D-mint mark coins generally fetching higher values than those without mint marks. In conclusion, the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny with a D-mint mark in full rust condition can be considered a valuable and intriguing piece for collectors who appreciate coins with unique characteristics. These coins have garnered attention in the market due to their unusual appearance and potential rarity, and they may continue to be a sought-after item at auctions in the coming years. Next up is the 1950 Lincoln wheat 1 cent with a D-mint mark struck at the Denver Mint in fine condition. Unlike the rusted coin from 1948, this coin remains in relatively well-preserved shape, and its significance and value are elevated due to the excellent preservation of its design features. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was part of the last few years in the wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. The 1950 coin is notable because it marks a transitional period in American coinage where the post-war economy was stabilizing, and the U.S. was making its way into the Cold War era. At this time, coinage was still dominated by traditional designs like the Lincoln wheat cent, but the nation was already gearing up for changes in its numismatic landscape. The famous Lincoln Memorial cent would be introduced just a few years later in 1959, marking the end of the Lincoln wheat penny era. While the 1950 penny was minted in significant numbers, approximately 208 million were produced at the Denver Mint, making it one of the more common dates for the Lincoln wheat penny. However, its relatively high mintage does not diminish its appeal to collectors. On the contrary, the 1950 penny is often sought after in higher grades for its sharpness and the preservation of the design elements. Much like the 1948 coin, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny features the iconic Victor David Brenner design, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse. The D-mint mark signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which typically produces a smaller quantity of coins than the Philadelphia Mint. As a result, D-mint mark pennies tend to be more popular among collectors compared to those minted in Philadelphia. The coin's fine condition refers to its relatively preserved state, where the details, while not as sharp as those in higher grades, are still visible and legible. Fine condition coins typically show some wear, but the design features such as Lincoln's face, the wheat stalks, and the date are still intact and discernible. While the 1950 penny is not as rare as some other dates in the Lincoln wheat cent series, it remains a desirable coin, especially in fine condition with the D-mint mark. In fine condition, this coin can fetch around $10,000 in typical market conditions. However, coins in higher grades, such as extra fine or uncirculated, can reach significantly higher values. The 1950 Lincoln penny appeals to collectors because it represents the final years of the wheat penny era. Collectors who specialize in the series often seek coins from the later years, including 1950, as part of their complete set of wheat cents. The appeal of the D-mint mark further enhances the coin's value, as mint marks are a significant factor in determining the collectability and price of U.S. coins. In recent years, there has been a growing interest in coins from the mid-20th century, including the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. Auction prices for well-preserved specimens have shown a steady increase, especially as more collectors seek to fill gaps in their collections of Lincoln cents. Although this coin may not command the astronomical prices of rarer coins, it has consistently sold for a healthy sum in auctions due to its historical importance and the continued demand for quality examples. The fine condition of the 1950 penny ensures that it remains in demand, and as more collectors turn their attention to the Lincoln wheat cent series, we can expect the prices to rise, particularly for coins with D-mint marks. The auction market for these coins is expected to continue growing, especially as collectors seek coins with well-preserved designs and original surfaces. Next up, the 1940 Abraham Wheat penny without a mint mark is one of the more fascinating coins in the history of U.S. numismatics. While the coin itself may not have the historical intrigue of coins from the earlier years of the Lincoln cent series, it is still a valuable and much coveted item among collectors due to its rarity and particular conditions. Specifically, the 1940 penny, when found with damage or significant wear, can still draw attention in the market depending on its circumstances. During this time, the U.S. government was working to maintain economic stability and growth after the stock market crash of 1929 and the subsequent Depression years. The country was on the brink of entering World War II, which would heavily influence coinage production in the years that followed. Therefore, the 1940 wheat penny represents an era just before major global shifts. In terms of mintage, the 1940 Lincoln penny without a mint mark had an impressive output of nearly 1.2 billion coins. This large mintage ensures that the coin is not as rare as others from different years, or those with mint errors. However, it's important to note that despite its widespread production, specific examples, especially those in pristine or unique condition, can still carry significant value in the marketplace. In today's auction market, the value of a 1940 Lincoln cent can vary widely depending on its condition. Typically, a coin in average circulated condition, fine to very fine, would only bring a modest price, usually in the range of $9,000. However, in cases where the coin is in a damaged state, such as one with deep cuts or damage around the edges, the value can fluctuate. Interestingly, collectors are sometimes willing to pay more for coins with unique damage, provided that the coin has a rich provenance, or if the damage results in a coin with an unusual appearance that sparks collector interest. Despite the damage, a coin like this, if it has a particularly interesting set of markings or a strange flaw, can still attract bids from those interested in oddities or historical pieces. For coins with severe damage like deep cuts or abrasions, the price might drop drastically, though it could still fetch anywhere between $11,000 depending on the damage's nature and the coin's overall appearance. The 1940 Lincoln cent is well known for its clean and recognizable design. On the obverse, the profile of Abraham Lincoln is shown, created by artist Victor David Brenner. The relief of Lincoln's face, especially in later years, can show wear and degradation, especially if the coin was in circulation for a long period. On the reverse, the wheat ears are prominently displayed, an iconic feature that is synonymous with the Lincoln cent. While the design itself hasn't changed since the coin's introduction in 1909, the 1940 version is notable for being part of a series that is still beloved by collectors today. With all of this in mind, the key aspect here is that damage to the design, like cuts, can sometimes make the coin appear even more distinct, which could add to its allure for certain collectors who appreciate damaged coins with character. Error coins and coins with damage often attract unique interest from collectors. For the 1940 penny in damaged condition, certain aspects of the coin's wear or alteration could be considered interesting by error specialists. Some collectors seek coins that feature unusual mistakes or flaws in the minting process, such as double strikes, misaligned dies, or overpolished areas. However, in the case of a heavily damaged coin, the collector interest is often driven by the aesthetics of the damage rather than any potential minting errors. Some collectors find value in coins that have been altered or worn in particular ways. For example, deep cuts on the edge of a 1940 penny may lead to speculation regarding how the coin was damaged, whether through rough circulation or intentional modification. Such coins could appeal to those interested in coin art or people who value the historical narrative behind a damaged piece. The right damage in the right context can make this penny particularly appealing to niche collectors, who appreciate not only the coin's historical background but also its story. To sum up, the 1940 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in a damaged state has its place in the market, especially for collectors who appreciate the nuances of wear and damage. While it's not a rare coin in terms of mintage, its damage or unique markings could make it a valuable addition to the collection of a discerning collector. If you happen to own one of these coins in a damaged state, Especially with cuts around the coin, don't be discouraged. It might just fetch a price higher than you expect, depending on its exact condition and appeal to the right buyer. Next up, the 1934 Abraham wheat penny, without a mint mark, holds a significant place in the history of U.S. coinage. In this section, we'll explore the historical significance, design features, and the value this coin commands in the modern market, particularly in fine condition. The 1934 Lincoln cent was minted during the middle of the Great Depression, a time when the U.S. economy was struggling to recover from the collapse of the stock market in 1929. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these pennies to meet the demands of a growing economy, but it's important to note that this was a period of financial hardship for many Americans. The Lincoln cent, which had been in circulation since 1909, continued to be produced in large quantities throughout the Depression era. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, remained a constant symbol of hope and resilience during these tough times. The reverse of the coin, featuring two wheat stalks, is emblematic of the country's agricultural roots and the hard-working American people. Although the design itself did not change, the economic and historical backdrop of the coin adds layers of significance. With a mintage of approximately 1 billion pennies, the 1934 Lincoln cent without a mint mark is not considered a rare coin. However, despite its large production numbers, coins in better conditions, especially those in fine to very fine condition, can command a much higher value in today's auction market. The coin's value is highly dependent on the specific state of preservation, with coins in fine condition typically ranging from $17,000 depending on auction trends and market demand. In terms of its market value, a 1934 penny in fine condition is generally considered a middle-tier coin. It's far more valuable than a heavily worn penny, but it's not as rare as those in exceptional or uncirculated condition. Nonetheless, its desirability among collectors persists due to its historical importance and the scarcity of high-grade examples. When coins like the 1934 penny come up for auction, the right buyer could push the price up, especially if the coin is part of a larger, high-quality collection. Next up, let's talk about the 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. This coin holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, as it's one of the most iconic and highly sought-after pennies in U.S. numismatics. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny, like all pennies in the series, honors Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth, featuring the famous portrait of Lincoln by Victor David Brenner on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse. These wheat pennies were produced from 1909 to 1958, and they have been a staple in coin collections ever since. The 1937 penny, without a mint mark, was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, making it one of the more common issues in terms of mintage compared to some other rare years. However, despite its seemingly abundant production, this particular coin has steadily gained attention from collectors due to its overall quality and historical context. On the reverse side, the wheat stalks surround the words 1 cent, with the motto United States of America appearing along the top and E pluribus, unum again along the bottom. These distinctive wheat designs were intended to symbolize America's agricultural roots, a tribute to the nation's strong economy built on farming. The mintage for the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark at the Philadelphia Mint, was a staggering 317,384,000 pieces. This figure places it in the category of a fairly common coin in the series, meaning it's not one of the rarer or highly sought-after issues at first glance. However, the sheer volume of coins produced does not always equate to value, and the condition of the individual coin plays a huge role in its worth. The 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark, when found in fine condition, will typically display moderate wear, but the details of Lincoln's image and the wheat stalks remain recognizable. The coin's value in this condition varies, but generally hovers in the range of $18,500 in most markets. However, when the coin is in higher grades like extremely fine or about uncirculated, the value can rise significantly. At the highest grades of MS-65 or better, a 1937 Lincoln penny without a mint mark can fetch upwards of $20,000 depending on the auction or sale context. Collectors of wheat pennies, especially those focusing on the Lincoln series, pay close attention to the 1937 version because of its significant historical value. While it may not be as rare as some of the more limited issues from the 1930s, the 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark holds sentimental value as a symbol of America's post-Great Depression recovery. For this reason, it continues to be a staple in both beginner and advanced collections. Furthermore, the market for these coins has seen consistent interest, especially in recent years as more collectors look for affordable yet historically significant pieces to add to their collections. Online auction platforms and coin dealers have noted that even coins in lesser conditions can see a good price due to their long-standing appeal. Though the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny is not known for specific varieties or errors, some collectors look for minor variations in the minting process that can add additional value. For example, slight die cracks or shifts in the die can create interesting anomalies in the coin's design. These errors are not common, but can raise the coin's value in niche collector markets. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And as always, keep hunting for those rare treasures.